Okay, so you know Jinwoo, right? Total style icon, no doubt. But honestly, his weapon collection, it might just be cooler than his fits, which is saying something. If you've watched the anime or read the manhwa, you already know our boy Sung Jinwoo is all about those daggers. They're his signature, you know? But get this, his first ever weapon on screen wasn't even a dagger. Crazy, right? It was a sword, back during that double-layer raid nightmare, when he stayed behind like a total badass, so everyone else could bail. Yeah, some dude named Kim dropped his sword, and Jinwoo's survival instincts just kicked in. He snatched it up and went to town. And get this, he even used that same sword to take down Kasaka. So, technically, Kim's sword was the OG weapon for our boy on screen. Now, if we're digging a little deeper, like into the manhwa's backstory, there's this mention in chapter 15 about him buying a dagger for 50,000 won. That's like 37 bucks. So, even before he became this super-powered player, he had a thing for blades. But yeah, after he levels up, the first official weapon he gets is Kaka's Venom Fang. Remember that creepy blue Venom Fang snake? Well, after Jinwoo took it down, boom, he gets this dagger made from its bones, all coated in venom. It was his go-to for a while. That thing was nasty. Not only did it do damage, but it also poisoned enemies. And you know how annoying poison is. Plus, it had this bleed and paralyze effect. Super clutch in a fight. You gotta think, even that first weapon was probably top tier stuff in his new world. Then comes the Night Killer. Man, that dagger was a game changer. He bought it from the system shop for a cool 8 million gold. And it was way better than the Venom Fang. Like, the Venom Fang had plus 25 attack and was C rank, but the Night Killer, plus 75 attack and a whole B rank. Plus, it was made to pierce armor, so it did extra damage to those tanky enemies. And get this, when he tried to get it appraised, they said it was worth at least 100 million won. That's over 70 grand. Pretty wild, considering his first dagger cost less than 40 bucks. Shows you how insane even B-rank system items are. He even used it against the King of Demons, Baron. And let's be real, that dagger looked sick. All dark and edgy with that glowing red gem. So cool. Next up, after he smoked the elf warlord Baruka in the Red Gate, he snagged Baruka's dagger. This one was A rank with plus 110 attack. But the cool thing about this one was it made him lighter. Like it boosted his agility just by holding it. Plus 10 to agility? Yes, please. He used this one against Baron too. Visually, it was the opposite of the Night Killer. All bluish white with a light gray handle. Definitely more useful than the Night Killer for the agility boost. But the Night Killer still wins in the looks department, right? So, for a while, he's rocking both the Night Killer and Baruka's dagger. Then he finally takes down Baron, and bam, he gets his first S-rank daggers. And they come as a pair, the Demon King's daggers. These bad boys replaced his old ones. S-rank, plus 220 attack. But the crazy thing was their aura. When Baron used them, they glowed blood red. But when Jinwoo used them, they glowed light purple. They literally reflected his aura. And they looked insane, massive black daggers with these red guards that looked like demon mouths. Super fitting name. Plus, when he used them together, he got bonus attack equal to his strength. No wonder he looked so demonic wielding them. Still, they weren't perfect. They couldn't even scratch the statue of God or Thomas Andre. Dude had to throw hands. Okay, now for the big guns. Jinwoo's strongest named weapon, Kish's Wrath. These daggers are forged from a dragon's fawn. Let's just say they're busted. Demon King's daggers had plus 220 attack, right? Kish's Wrath? Plus 500. They're beyond S rank. Like, Jinwoo himself got to a point where ranks didn't even apply, and it's the same with these. The story calls them the most powerful daggers, made from the sharpest dragon fawn. And they're super sensitive to mana, so the more mana Jinwoo has, the stronger they get. He could even make them weightless. Talk about agility hacks. The backstory on these is wild. Thomas Andre got the Fang fighting a dragon with a bunch of other top hunters. They couldn't make a sword, cause the Fang was too short. So they made daggers. But Thomas is a tank, so he couldn't use them. They just sat his basement for 8 years. After Jinwoo kicked his butt, Thomas flew to Korea and gave them to him as a present. And man, they were strong. Jinwoo could slice up lesser monarchs like butter. Thomas even said if Jinwoo had used them during their fight, he would have been toast. They look awesome too, though the webtoon and novel have different takes. Novel's ice white, webtoon's blood red with a gray and orange thing going on. And they're not even the same size. One's got a black guard, the other gold. But get this, even with all that power and drip, Kish's wrath was useless against the Dragon King, Antares. But that makes sense, right? Antares is the strongest monarch, and Kish was his servant way back when. So, Jinwoo needed something even better than a dragon's fang to take him down. Which brings us to the ultimate weapon. In chapter 178, after the timeline reset, Jinwoo straight up creates his own pair of daggers with his Shadow Monarch powers. We don't even know what he called them, but they were black with this insane purple aura. And they were strong enough to go toe-to-toe with the strongest monarch. Talk about an upgrade. So yeah, that's the whole rundown of Jinwoo's weapons. From a borrowed sword to god-tier shadow daggers. Which one's your favorite? Let's keep the hype going in the comments.